fully upgraded, super modified. Hello there everybody and welcome to Opafed Gaming. I am the Opafed. We are driving a Mazda RX-7 Panspeed. We're driving it in our semi-pro tuner season in a super modified, fully upgraded event. We're driving it at the Suzuka circuit in Japan on the International Racing Course B track. We're doing 5 laps. We're driving during the day and we start at 16th of 22 and promptly drop down to 22nd. Now I've noticed this is Grid Legends that we're driving in, and in Grid Legends the cars are quite aggressive at the beginning and in the first lap. So a lot of times when you start out your race, a lot of them race by you, but don't be discouraged because of that. Anyhow, 5 laps. You would think that that's going to take a while, and it is. So we're not too worried about having dropped to 22nd right off the bat. You know, we're just going to kind of observe a little bit, try and keep up with the pack, but like I'd like to preach, try and pass a few cars as you can, as you go along the first lap, because you don't want to stay in the back. Because the longer you stay in the back, the further that guy at the front, or the bunch of cars that are right at the front, are going to get away on you. So you don't want to do that. You want to start passing right away. Now another thing that happens quite often in Grid Legends is that some of these cars in front of you will lose a car part, like a tire, or they'll spin out, or whichever. Something happens. So you got to be aware of that, because a lot of times they'll take out the cars directly behind them, and sometimes even off to the side, depending on what happens. So keep that in mind. That happens off and on too. And this race seems to have a little bit of everything. Now this part of the track, we've driven this track before, and this part of the track goes back and forth from side to side. Now when you get to this part, you pretty well might as well stay behind the guy that you're following, because it's going to be almost impossible to pass him. But as luck would have it, when you come around the corner here, there's a nice long straight stretch. Now we're still in 22nd, and we should be passing 5 cars per lap to be able to get to the front. So we pass all 5 of them right there. We got to get them somewhere, you know, so we got a few there. And as you've noticed, there's a bunch of gaps already now in between the cars. So they're starting to get spread out, but that just, like I said, reminds me that the cars at the front are getting further away. So we can't afford to have that. So we keep hammering down, and let's see if we can maybe pick off 1 or 2 cars along the way. Now this race in particular is really difficult. There's some straight stretches all right, but not a lot of room on the track yet to pass anybody. Now when that happens, all you can do is follow until you get a chance. Now to corners like this, a lot of times, oh, he took himself out for us. A lot of times you can maybe sneak around the outside or the inside like this right after you come out of the corner, and that sometimes works too. So keep an eye out for opportunities like that. You know, as we're moving ahead here now, we're getting near the end of the 2nd lap, and we're sitting pretty good because we're almost to the middle of the pack. So we got to get past a few more. Well, we got kind of stuck in there, but that's okay. This is a very, very fast race, and that's why it's a good thing that the laps are decent length, because the race is fairly quick. You know, so and trying to control these little cars like this Mazda RX-7 drives really great and has great control. But at the high speeds, it's really difficult sometimes. He just kind of flutters around a little bit. So then you have to back off just a little bit. As we're getting through that little zigzaggy portion of the track again, like I said, this is the follow the leader type part of the track. You know, but the unfortunate part is if the cars in front of you are slower than you can't quite get by them, and the cars behind you start to catch up too. So we gotta hammer down and try and get ahead again here, and try and move ahead of a few more vehicles to see if we can get closer to the front of the pack. And here we're just starting our 3rd lap here, and we got 9 cars left in front of us. Now that's not too bad, because you got 3 full just under 3 laps to pass 9 cars. It's only 3 cars per lap. So, but there's a few different things going to happen in the race, as there always is. You never know when it's going to happen, though. I wish they would stay out of the dirt, though, because it's really hard to see any car in front of you. So we're going to just see if we can get by this guy. Wow, that's top speed. That top speed. And then coming up to a corner like that, ooh, he took himself out. And another car is blowing up. Wow, that's really helping our position out. 6th place now, only 5 more cars in front of us. Now we can see 3, 4 of them. We can see 4 of them, which is good. I mean, my preference always is to have 1 or 2. Ooh, look at him. He spun himself out. There's a lot of different things happening in this race, I'll tell you. Anyhow, my preference always is to have 1 or 2 cars in front of you as a pace car until at least the last lap, so that they can kind of set the speed for the race. And the other thing I like is if I can see all the cars that are in front of me, if I can see them, because then you know how hard you got to push, right? I mean, if a couple of the cars are out of sight, you have no idea where they are, you can't see them on the mini map, then it starts to become a guessing game as to how fast you got to drive to be able to catch up to them, and I don't like that part. Plus, I also don't like to be the leader, the lead car. That's why I like to chase a pace car in front of me. But sooner or later, we have to take over the lead if we want to win the race. So as we're coming up around the corner here again, back towards the grandstand, boy, I tell you, I thought these laps were going to take a while, but that's 3 laps gone already. We're over halfway through the race now, so we can catch 1 more. I was hoping to catch 2, but, well, my golly, he's going to do it. Look at him. Took both of them anyhow, just hammered down and got near the front. Only 2 more cars to go, and they're both right there. So you see, now, worst come to worst, we can always catch both these guys by the grandstand the next time around, as long as that front guy doesn't get too far away. So, well, the best strategy probably would be is to get past this guy, just like that, catch up to the lead, and then let that lead guy dictate the speed for the rest of this lap. Well, you see, I'm still being pushed by that guy behind me. That guy behind me doesn't want to let me go, but we're going to slowly push him away. We're going to slowly gain a little bit of space between him and us. So, you know, we're just going to follow this lead guy until we get where the grandstand is. This is the best place to pass him, unless he goes unusually slow somewhere. There's really no need to drive chaotic or wild, so we don't want to do that. I always still like to try and drive a nice clean race. I mean, it's a lot more fun, I think, you know, than getting wild. Sometimes the contact part in Grid Legends is a little bit much for me, but it is what it is. I still love the game. It's got great graphics, got great gameplay, and it's got awesome cars to drive. Now this part of the track, that back and forth again, like I've mentioned many times before, is also a good time to practice your use of the full width of the track, thereby keeping your speed up as fast as you can go while you're going around those corners. Now, I understand it's harder to do when there's other cars on the track, but when you're by yourself, and as we're going to pass this guy and pass this other guy that's still smoking on the track here, we're now in the lead, and being in the lead, it's going to be tough to try and keep this lead because these guys are really quick, and they're going to push you. They're going to push you right to the end. I mean, we've only got a half a second lead on them. Now you got to remember, you drive off the track, you spin out, you do anything that keeps you from moving forward on the track, and your race is over. Because Saeed is only 1.5 seconds behind me, and at this speed, 1.5 seconds, he's gone. By the time I get back on the track, if I make a mistake and I catch up to him, I'll never catch him. So we got to try and push it, drive clean, stay on the track. bring it home. Don't get too excited. We got a like I said, 1.5 second lead. So let's keep that rolling. And let's just keep him behind it. Oh, you can see him catching up. You can see him getting closer and closer every time. See, now you're a little bit behind us again. Oh, it's just an absolute awesome game, awesome race today. Absolutely awesome. But we got to stay on the track. Oh, hold it together, Opafed. You got to bring this home. We're almost there. Here we're coming around the corner. We're gonna be going through that back and forth little section, and then you know you're all. Oh, he's almost skidding off the track again. Oh, is he gonna be able to hold it together? Yeah, I think so. I think so. We're not gonna let this one slip away. What an awesome, awesome race. I really enjoyed this one, and I hope you did too. Hope to see you back at OpenFed Gaming again real soon. Until the next time, you've been racing with the OpenFed.